Hello everyone, my name is Flare Blitz and welcome to Seven Wonders of St. Clementine, a horror thriller visual novel in its development stages, made by Imagine Fantasia and published by Top Hat Studios. Now, as you can probably tell, this is kind of a paranormal game, similar to the likes of Corpse Party, but without the RPG elements and more visual novel. So let's start this story, shall we? The boy opened his eyes, stupefied by the change of scenery outside. As the train was preparing to enter that station, he found the scenery of the city he knew was gone, replaced by fresh countryside views. No more skyscrapers or crowded vehicles, okay? Instead, there are only vast green fields decorated by innumerable varieties of trees and flowers alongside a lush mountain range and a bright blue sky as its back. Perks of living in the countryside rather than the city. You get to see all these beautiful views. Just close my eyes and take a short nap, and then I'll be in paradise. The invitation he had received noted that someone would pick him up at the station when he arrived. One step closer. "Wait for me, Mom!" As the train was slowing down, he heard an announcement from a small loudspeaker above him. It started with a slow jingle and was followed by a standard announcing voice. The voice was a bit obscured by static, but Sei knew this had to be his destination. The Shikaku station. He took his backpack and jumped off the train in excitement. Suddenly, however, he stopped abruptly. He had noticed something. The station was quiet, almost desolate. He was the only one who had gotten off at this station, in fact. The train he was in wasn't exactly full of people, but still, it made him ask himself, was I the only one on the train? No, I remember seeing others, I think. He thought of how quiet the train was, and a shiver ran down his spine. Sei immediately brushed off his wild thoughts as he heard a voice call out to him. Excuse me? Hi there, a young girl approached him. With all due respect, are you Sei? Her voice was a bit deeper than I expected it to be, but it didn't match her young-looking body. Okay, yes, I am. And he answered. The girl gave a cheerfully relieved smile. And who might you be? Her smile stayed in place. I'm Nayo Yuka. She promptly reached out and held his hand. Okay, giving him a big handshake in the process. Nice to meet you, Sei. I'll be your homeroom teacher. Sei was going to ask if this baby-faced girl could really be his homeroom teacher, but he swallowed those words back. Okay. It was an inappropriate thing to say to a woman. Well, yeah, she is a lady, even if she looks so young. He shook his head. Sei really had to convince himself. I'm terribly sorry, Sensei. Someone was supposed to pick me up, but you? She laughed in the same cheerful manner as before. He figured she could probably tell what he was thinking. She probably had quite a bit of experience with people's awkward first impressions. Yes, I'm here to pick you up. Okay. He stuttered a bit, tripping over his own words. You got everything with you need, right? Yes. Sei nodded. I brought everything I need. She noticed a small briefcase not too far behind Sei. That's quite the small briefcase. Are you going to live in with just that? Nothing else? Sei cocked his head to the side. I shoved everything inside this briefcase nicely. You know, like folding my shirts into mini size and stuff. The cute lady giggled as Sei's head frantically demonstrated how he folded the clothes with the air. You're funny. Say raised his head and scratched the back of his head worriedly. Don't be so stiff. Relax, it's all okay. I'm just teasing a bit. She pointed off to the side. Now, chop chop. Okay, so you go from teasing to then doing that. Okay, doggy. With that said, she grabbed Sei's hand like snakes snapping at its prey. Okay. I don't need babysitting. Sensei moved so swiftly, Sei almost tripped over his own feet. Is everything alright? Why are we rushing? She stopped quickly, causing Sei to almost fall flat. Well, I guess we aren't really in a rush. So, why are we in a rush? School starts tomorrow and there's nothing much in this town. Sending your evening in a remote train station like this would be kind of pathetic, right? Sei scratched at the back of his head again. Right. Well, that's why then. I suppose we could take a detour though. But didn't you just... What? Now you don't want to take your time? Well, She doesn't listen and instead tugs at Sei's hand. Oh dear. We don't know this person, but yet we are putting our faith into them immaculately. Over to the side where Yuka led him to, there was an overhead view of a peninsula. It looked down into the valley where the city was built up from. Oh my. Yuka took a couple of remedies and 2 seemingly mysterious paper bags from her trunk and handed them to Sei. Okay. What is the purpose behind that? What is it? Sei reached into the bag. Ah! Anko taiyaki? So it's food. Yuka smiled. Do you like it? I do. The paper bag managed to hide the smell of a red bean paste treat. I don't think it's possible for someone to hate Anko taiyaki. Believe me, there's probably someone out there who does. And sorry to say, Yuka, but yeah. She smiled again and nodded. I'm not one of them. I love all sorts of Japanese food like that. Enjoy! Or Asian food in general. It's just something so unique in comparison to other foods in the world. Especially when it's compared to, let's say, fast food. Ouch! It's still hot! Be careful, it's fresh from the oven. They enjoyed the sweet Anko taiyaki in silence. But the atmosphere quickly turned awkward. Sei sighed. Sensei, why are we here? She clearly didn't prepare herself for that kind of question. Sei, listen. He was a bit taken back that she had used his first name already. A bit early for that, right? Are you the type that always forgets to go outside to breathe real air? You saying I'm shut in? Because in this point of time, being a shut in is the most important thing that we can do. In this kind of society nowadays, doing absolutely nothing can save many lives. Oh dear. Admittedly, he wasn't exactly the outdoors type. I bet the briefcase you brought was mostly filled with books though. But how could you guess? Yuka sighed deeply. It seemed like almost all the air left her body. Whoa! Sei, listen to me. As your homeroom teacher, being diligent is good and all. But listen, once in a while you have to close your book, raise your hand, and see your surroundings. Sei nodded. Now look over there. You can see the whole city from here. You don't seem to be that impressed. No, the city is nothing in comparison to the beauty of the countryside. Old monuments and stuff are always beautiful, don't get me wrong, but the countryside is so beautiful. No, it's definitely mesmerizing. I mean, I saw some breathtaking scenery on the train, but this is something else. Well, that's a relief then. This would be the city he'd be living in. Between the vast range of mountain, clear blue sky, lush forest, there lay a small city. It blended strangely well with its surroundings. It was a paintbrush stroke on an otherwise all-natural canvas. So this is the city where Mum lived. Yuka cocked her head to the side. Did you say something? It's just... He sighed again. Did you say something? No, nothing. Just taking in the scenery. Indeed, it's not much, but it's beautiful, right? There, the block just on the edge of the forest. Can you see that? She pointed in the distance. Yes. That's St. Clementine over there. Really? The whole block? The whole block. I heard it was huge, but it's different in person. It feels that different? Very much so. She smiled, enjoying her remain in silence, and letting Sei observe the scenery. The sky was clear and the breeze was nice. I'm not great with Japanese names, by the way. Yuka wants to feel the air much more, but she knew they couldn't stay much longer. As she finished her ramen, a large grin blossomed on her face. Feeling better now? Oh, maybe she could tell I was a bit down before. Sei drank the rest of her ramen and nodded enthusiastically. Thank you, Sensei. I really appreciate it. She gave that cheerful smile again. Oh, by the way, Sei, can I ask you something? I'm sorry, it's a bit of an abrupt question. Of course. How are you with She raised her hands and gestured with her hands like she was telling a ghost story or something. The paranormal. Oh dearie me. You want me to investigate that kind of thing, do you now? That's really abrupt. I told you, didn't I? I mean, I don't really know. I'm not even experienced with paranormal to give you a definite answer. I'm not sure I believe in anything like that. She looked surprised and maybe a bit disappointed after hearing his answer. There was a different type of smile on her face. It seemed like maybe she was intrigued. What of it? Nothing really. I'm just asking. Ghost stories travel far in small towns, they say. Alright, let's go to school then. It seems like we used up a bit too much time here. Thank you, Sensei. No problem. Now we definitely gotta head to the school. Most of your belongings, besides a small briefcase, should be at your dormitory room. You still need to arrange them yourself once you arrive. And please be nice to your roommate, will you? I don't think you're the type to pick a fight, but still... Was there something wrong? Why did you say that of all things? The sun was already set when we arrived at the school gate. The main gate was tall and mainly from a glossy iron decorated... Where's my thought? Decorated with antique pattern carvings on every part of its body. No, I don't want to do that. I don't know why that just came up. Now we'll go to a fresh one. We've got 10 pages of save files after all. Greeneries peek from behind sturdy trunks, although it was a bit hard to see without more lighting. Whoa. Wow, how does it feel to finally be here? It definitely feels nice. And you haven't even seen everything yet. It's too bad it's already night time though. Sei looked at everything with curious eyes, and Yuka couldn't help but notice her new student's excited face. She suddenly stopped the car, pressing down on the brakes. Are we already there? Wait a minute, we talked about being at the school. Or maybe it was just the destination of going to the school. She shook her head and gave her usual smile. Sei, you can explore the school for a while if you really want to. You look so curious about everything here. Sorry for the voice crack. I somehow feel like I've been here before. Somehow. Some fuzzy memories. Are you some kind of agnostic or something? No, of course not. Maybe I was really young when I visited here or something. I'm just kind of nostalgic, is all. Well, do you want to explore the school or not? It might be kind of weird to wander around at night. Her tone seems a bit different from before. Can I really do that? I guess so, but I have to remind you that the school ground is quite large. Don't stay out too late, or get lost. What are you going to do, Sensei? Good question. I'll probably park my car over near the dorms. Oh, let me also tell you, if you want to take a walk around the school for a while, you should start with the main building over there. You'll spend most of your time there anyway. Now I don't know if you are actually encouraging me to explore or not. Well, I think that'll be okay. Like I said, it's weird to wander around at night though. Well, can I? I suppose, but remember, don't get carried away. You still have a lot to do back in your room. Don't exhaust yourself. Tomorrow's your first day after all. Sensei, before you go, what time is the curfew? 8 o'clock. Don't even think you can get past curfew without expecting something. Something? The ghost, of course. Ghost? How boring. You should have reacted more to that. Oh, you were trying to spook us. No, really. I'm definitely scared. Can you not tell by my voice? By my facial expressions? He rolled his eyes. What's with that reaction? Sorry. It's like I said earlier about ghost stories. You see, there's specifically some mysteries around school. They call them the 7 what? Oh dear lord, look at the time. Say, I really need to go now. You'll be fine on your own, right? Say nodded. Yes. Remember not to pass the curfew and be nice to your roommate. I will. Thank you, Sensei. She stopped the car and her head pops out of the window. The male dorm is the blue one. Don't mistake it from the female dorm, which is pink, okay? Okay. She gave one thumbs up and drove her car away. She's oddly motherly. He bowed as the vehicle moved away. As the car disappeared from his sight, Sei starts to wonder where he should start. He looked around and walked down the first path in sight. Later that night. The school grounds were relatively calm, but there was still some kind of strange overarching theory. There was a peculiar atmosphere the school gave off. It was the combination of the European-style buildings and the fact that the buildings had been worn down by the ages. Elegant yet mysterious, majestic yet lonely. The stillness was definitely unsettling. Maybe it was just the lack of students. Sei was still walking, but his eyes fell on a footpath on the grass behind bushes. The footpath exposed the ground below. It gave Sei a hint that the path had often been used until recently. The width of the path was narrow and inconsistent further down. Definitely makeshift, perhaps not something public. I wonder where this path heads to. The downward path definitely led further into the forest. The atmosphere grew from peculiar to dark and more overtly mysterious. A series of images ran through Sei's mind, all of those mysterious sighting inside the forest. People always claim to see ghosts, just like what Yuka Sensei had said. Darkness tends to fill people's imaginations though. When there's nothing there, people's minds always fantasize to fill the void. Human needs something to stimulate their mind, to stimulate the concept of living. The concept of nothing is... Sei stopped inside, recollecting himself. Well, I've no light with me. I don't want to risk anything. I guess I'll just explore the school little by little instead. That way. A normal way. The main building will probably be locked anyway. Maybe I'll just start over there. Say made his way to a well-lit road, leading him to a chapel. Yeah, never ever go off the road. The top of the building was quite the contrast to the night sky on the horizon. The roof was a striking red colour compared to the blackness of the night sky. The building wasn't necessarily the most beautiful building he had ever seen, but it had its own uniqueness and was definitely captivating. He then proceeded to try and open the door, but the door was locked. He was pretty disappointed with himself. Of course it would be locked. Why would a chapel be open at night? Say's eyes danced around and found another footpath beside the building. It led back down into the nearby forest. It looked similar to the other footpath that he found before. At this angle, the moon was so bright that he could see the path ahead. Oh well. It goes nothing. Don't do it! Don't! Oh dear. He took a turn into the path. Following the path brought him to a place that dazzled his eyes. A garden filled with an endless varieties of coloured flowers bathed in the moonlight. It felt like he had been transferred to a different dimension. On his right side, there was a pond hiding behind a curtain of fresh bamboo clumps. Its crystal-like water bathed in the moonlight as well, glimmering like 1,000 of diamonds set on its surface, or fireflies. In the middle of the pond, a rock wrapped within a huge rope and talisman sat alone. What's with that rock? He tried to move closer, attempting to get a better look. An ancient Japanese shrine in a Catholic school? Say was sure that the ancient shrine was there for a reason. There was a different sort of hypothesis already formulating in Say's mind, but he didn't have enough information. He didn't want to draw a baseless theory. He looked around a bit more. Ooh, there ahead of him, a Virgin Mary statue of about half Say's height stood on a pedestal. At a glance, the Virgin Mary statue was your usual icon, but upon closer inspection, it had a kind of unusual pose, certainly different than how Catholics tend to depict Mary. He didn't hold a baby, I was about to say a berry, and the gesture was different. It would be a different depict of Virgin Mary if it was a berry. It looked as if it was pointing at something. Say inspected the statue closer. Something immediately caught Say's attention. Though the hands pointed down, the statue definitely seemed to be looking at the sealed stone. It piqued Say's interest, and he moved closer to that statue. Even though it gave him goosebumps, Say really had to admit that the statue was masterfully made. The statue was meticulously crafted down to the very last detail, wrinkles of the clothes and the expression down to its muscle. At the focal point of the statue were eyes that intently looks down upon the sealed rock. But why? That was certainly not a careless mistake or an accident. Say's gaze moved back and forth between the statue and the rock. A Catholic symbol looking at a Japanese ancient shrine. This time his eyes were fixed on the sealed rock. What? The statue seemed to start moving. Oh, Z? What's going on here? Say thought about how alive the statue was. In fact, it wouldn't even look like such a strange thing if the statue was to start moving. He immediately turned around. But that's impossible. He stopped his sentence as he saw a movement. A large, abrupt movement. A blurry image of the ominous statue was etched to his mind. He kept both of his eyes open. Say had to make sure he wasn't blinking. What the? Then he blinked as many times as he could. Oh dear. Nothing was changing. Nothing was happening. Gosh. Well, maybe it's just my eyes playing trick on me. He turned again to the sealed rock. There was nothing there still, no matter what his mind said. I guess that's that then. He looked down at his watch as he re-entered the main campus grounds. I believe I still have some time. He turned around and looked at the empty main road which encircled the school complex. Then tightened his grip on his backpack. He was going to run his way up into the dorm when someone suddenly shouted to him, "Hey, you! What are you doing at a time like this?" A well-endowed girl with a ponytail was quickly speeding towards Sei. The thing she gave off was much different than what Yuka Sensei had given Sei. There was a killing glare like a lioness hunting down her prey. Sei couldn't be helped but shrivel back in confusion. By the look of her uniform, Sei deduced that she must be some kind of senior with authority of some sort. "You know it's I'm sorry." Sei didn't give her time to scold her much further, instead just blurting out the first thing on his mind. "I got late here. I didn't get much information regarding school. I just want to explore a bit of a campus." Silence filled the air. Bowing down quickly, Sei could no longer see the troubled expression on the girl's face. Okay. Raise your head. Thank you for the explanation." Her tone was still cold. "Do you know about the curfew time?" "Yes, I know. I'm heading back to the dorm now." I see. You must be the late train student." "Yeah. I heard you might be here later than usual." "It's Sei. Mizukami Sei." "I'm Raiko, the Vice President of the St. Clementine Student Council." Sei nodded. "If you're thinking about if I'm going to reprimand you, then the answer is yes. It's dangerous to go at night like this, especially alone. What were you thinking?" He thought about if he should mention Yuka Sensei, but it was probably more trouble than it was worth. Exactly. "I'm sorry, I should have been more careful." "How did you even get here? I mean, is there no one accompanying you?" She seemed more annoyed than anything. Taking a deep breath, Sei tried to explain about his trip there. "I see. Well, if that's the case, I could maybe excuse it this time. For now." A thought crossed Sei's mind suddenly. "How about you, Vice Prez? Are you patrolling alone? If it's so dangerous..." There was a sudden silence. No words came out from her mouth. Her eyes wandered into the void. Something seemed to occupy most of her mind. The question certainly caught her off guard. "Are you okay?" "Yeah, I'm fine." "Now, Mizukami, you need to go back to the male dorm. I finished patrolling, so I'm going back as well." Yeah, of course." And... Be careful on your way back." "What are you saying? It's the same way. We're heading back together." "What? The dorms are next to each other after all." "Oh, of course." Sometime later. Surprisingly, the dorm room was neat and clean. There were two sides of the room, each looked exactly like the other, as if there was a mirror. A desk and a single bed stuck into the wall. Again, it was surprisingly neat. After what Yuka had said, Sei was a bit taken aback by the tininess of the room. He had expected something else, especially with the fact that we have a roommate as well. We expected to be messy and untidy. Cockroaches appearing from every crevice. Joking. Thank God. I didn't think he'd be this clean. What was his name again? Kurokawa? Yuta? Yeah, that's right, Yuta. Kurokawa Yuta. Yep, that's me. You? What? Do you think I was a ghost or something? Too bad. It's me, Yuta. He puffed out his chest with thumbs pointing at himself. I could already tell he was certainly a character. So, you must be the victim of that delayed train. I mean, I suppose. Well, glad to see you're alive, I guess. From today on, we'll be roommates, dude. Glad to see him alive? What kind of joke is that? Okay, I look forward to it. My name is Mizukami Sei. Damn it. I'm just going to refer to him as a shorter name. Okay, Sei, let's get along together. Yutu gave his friendliest smile. It was sincere, but still exuded a tough aura. This guy's structure was a bit tall. As I say, structure was built taller than Sei's. His body was built like a tank or something. Don't be so tense, dude. Relax. He laughed and slapped. Sei's back almost sent him to kiss the floor. By the way, Karukara, just you two is fine. Okay, you two. Sei pointed to a small briefcase by Yutu's side. Tell me, what's with that briefcase? Oh, Yuka-sensei handed this to me on my way back. Here you go, dude. He quickly stuffed the briefcase into my hands. Thank you very much. Sorry for the trouble, I must have forgotten to take it with me. Don't be so formal, like I said, relax. It's all good. Save your formalness for the teachers and staff and seniors if needed. Sei raised his arm and scratched the back of his head again awkwardly. I think I've lost count on how many times I've told you to relax. Actually, what are you going to do with those boxes? Hell, what's even inside those boxes? Not much, just some books and stuff. Books and stuff, huh? I'd ask which side you want, but, well, I took the left side already. Hope you don't mind. It's okay. I'm fine with whatever side. You two took a few steps towards the boxes on the right side. Here, I'll help you with the boxes. What? No, you don't have to. It's good if we get to be friends quickly, Sei, so please just take his help. Not just because of the fact that he's offering his help, but of course, it will help you get to understand each other better. Let's just say that I'm doing this to balance things out. I feel like you'd probably help anyway? What? I feel like you'd probably help anyway. Good eyes, Sei, good eyes. Both of them laugh together. Ah, I'll take your offer then. Let's get started. Later on. How many laters are there? In this day, at this night. Whew, I guess that's all. Thanks, you two. No problem. They managed to stack the boxes over on Sei's side of the dorm. Hell, dude. What did you shove into these boxes? Sei laughed a bit. I told you, books and stuff. Just check it yourself and see if I'm lying or not. The green light has been lit, and you two began actively opening the boxes excitedly. Sei had to admit that he was glad he could coerce you two into helping him open the boxes. As he was opening the boxes, however, Sei looked out of a window, which emitted a slight breeze. The air from outside drew Sei closer to it. Immediately, an old building near an abandoned pool came to his sight. It emitted an eerie aura that kept his eyes glued to it. His mind went blank, and his vision began to fade. Where am I? I thought I heard someone's voice. Sei? That voice. Sei, here, it's me. Mom, is that you? Sei? Wait, Mom, don't go. Mom! Oh, well, hi there. That's a little spoopy jump scare there. That was a bit unexpected, but not taken aback by it. Sei jumped backwards as he came back to his senses, but I have to say that it would be entirely different if that screen filled all of your vision up, in comparison to just looking at a window on a screen, almost falling to the ground. Sei, are you okay? Yeah, I'm fine. You're sweating, dude. Just tired is all. You two gave him a look of disapproval. If you say so. What were you looking at anyway? He walked over to the window and followed Sei's line of sight. Oh, the abandoned pool down there. You know something about it? Oddly. You curious about it or something? Not really, it just caught my attention. Say took a breath and turned away from the window. He checked his watch again. Oh god, what time is it? We should really get some rest. U2 chuckled a bit to himself. Man, time sure flies. God, I don't want to get up tomorrow. We really shouldn't be late for tomorrow. Yeah, I hear you. Oh, by the way, can I keep this blind mask? If you don't need it. I mean, I found it in one of your boxes. Huh? Sure. I don't really remember bringing that though. That seems peculiar. Fascinating. He chuckled more to himself and paraded the mask around proudly. I'll take it as payment for the labour of opening your boxes. Oh dear. Alright. U2 looked at the mask again before placing it down on his side of the room. Well, good night, dude. See you tomorrow. Say looked back out the window once more, which still emitted a slight draft. Yeah, good night. Hey, thank you for... I was just about to finish up, so that's a kind of a nice time to stop there. That's really good. Really enticing. It gave us a... If it wasn't for that jump scare, then we would probably be surprised as to, like, well, what kind of horrors will there be? So that's kind of a glance at it. But hopefully it's not just jump scares. Thank you for playing the demo. It ends right here. Please support us on Kickstarter. Your help will mean a lot to us. I imagine that was more relevant when the demo originally came out, which was... Hold on. Let me just look in the etcher. Okay, so June 2019. So maybe something like that would be slightly different. But that, folks, was the demo to 7 Wonders of St. Clementine. If you have any suggestions of what I can do in the future, what other games I should check out visual novel wise, RPG Maker wise, please let me know down in the comments below. And thank you so much for watching. Check out this game for yourselves and see you all in the next video. Have a wonderful day and look after yourselves.